Well, it is getting to be that time in the season. The leaves are off the trees, and we're running out of chances to talk about the Fighting Irish, particularly playing here at home as they get ready for the final regular season home game of the year. We'll find out in another few weeks if it's the final home game period of the season. But senior day, always an interesting time here at Notre Dame, regardless of the kind of year they're having. I think we learned a lot, Tyler, about Marcus Freeman today and what makes him the kind of coach he is, and listening to him talk about his senior class and the way he considers these guys.
Yeah, I think one of Marcus Freeman's approaches to being a head coach is valuing the relationships with the guys, and it's not just wins and losses. Obviously, you're coaching on a weekly basis with the aim of winning and losing, but he views his job as connecting with these guys and helping them out beyond the football field, and that even applies to someone like Steve Angeli, who's at Syracuse now. Unfortunately, is injured and won't be playing against the Irish this Saturday. But yeah, Marcus Freeman really values these guys and obviously wants them to embrace this moment, but also be able to flip the switch and be ready to play and get their jobs done when it comes to playing on Saturday.
Another one of those guys who's not a senior, but who he has a very strong relationship with, obviously, is his starting quarterback, CJ Carr. And we're starting to learn more and more about what makes him special beyond the numbers. He played very solidly, minus some poor throws in the Pittsburgh game, stuff that people don't always see.
Yeah, I think critics will see his interceptions, and those are certainly mistakes and bad decisions, but he's doing a lot before the snap to get guys lined up in the right ways and to counter what he thinks the defense is doing. I even noticed on Saturday, like, he would do one thing and the defense would sort of react to it, then he'd do another thing, and so a little bit of a cat and mouse game there. But yeah, he's doing a lot in terms of taking on responsibilities of like, hey, this is what's called, but I know based on what I'm seeing across the field that we're not in a good situation right now, so let me see if I can do something to change that up. And the fact that Notre Dame has the confidence in him, both Mike Denbrock and Marcus Freeman, to allow him to have that capability means a lot and shows like how much that he's really grown as a quarterback just in his first year as a starter.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for a couple of reasons. I mean, first and foremost, it shows the growth that he has as such a young player because he's 10 games into his college career. That's a little bit uncanny, but more importantly, as teams try and take away Notre Dame's run game, which is so stout, and if they get into the playoffs and they get into these pressure games against better teams, it's essential that you cannot win a championship without a quarterback that can do these things.
Yeah, absolutely. And defenses are going to present some looks that are like, you know what, we can't really run the ball against this. And Mike Denbrock can't always know for sure that's how defense is going to line up. But CJ Carr can see what the defense is looking like and make an adjustment and throw the ball out somewhere. Or vice versa. He could say, like, hey, that's a bad coverage look against this throw we have called here. Why don't I just hand the ball off to Jeremiah Love against a better advantage with numbers. So I think that is valuable, especially against teams that are going to be trying to load the box and doing different things to focus on stopping Notre Dame's rushing attack. But I think also like he can make teams have to respect what he can do with his arm because he knows when and how to get that done.
So look at this team a little bit more from the big picture now. We learned a few things about roster management this week in terms of guys that have the potential to redshirt given the way they are or aren't treated this coming week.
Yeah, James Flanagan, a freshman, played a decent amount for what he's been playing this season. I think that was his third game of playing as a freshman. He was playing meaningful reps, too. It wasn't just towards the end of the game. He was even in on Jeremiah Love's long touchdown run. James Flanagan was in there as a second tight end, and he gives them some other blocking capabilities. And so Notre Dame wants to still redshirt him, so he can only play in one more game the rest of the regular season to do that. So we'll see if that's this Saturday or next Saturday. And then the other one was Jaden Greathouse, who's been out with an injury and has been out so long that he still has only played 4 games this season. So if he doesn't play in these final 2 regular season games, he's eligible for a redshirt season. And so Marcus Freeman said, that's our plan right now. If we feel like we can win and get things done without him, we'll accept that and get him prepared for whatever comes in December, whether that be the playoff or even a bowl game. So that's Notre Dame's mindset. The Greathouse situation has been interesting to monitor because obviously he was a great player for Notre Dame at the end of last season, didn't start the season well, and has been dealing with a thigh/hamstring issue for longer than most guys deal with that. So we at least sort of have some sort of conclusion to what's going on, at least for the next 2 games. And if Notre Dame wins out as expected and gets a playoff matchup, Notre Dame should have him ready to go for what that holds.
Yeah, it's worth reminding people, too, that the 4-game count that allows you to redshirt it doesn't include the postseason. So we're talking about Syracuse and Stanford. Then after that, these guys can continue playing again if they're healthy and capable of doing so. Obviously, we know Flanagan is capable of doing so, and if Greathouse is healthy, I mean, we know what he's capable of. And who would have thought, though, that a big part of this 8-game winning streak would include a guy that at the start of the year a lot of people thought was their best downfield weapon.
Yeah, it's been surprising that he didn't have success to start the year, and then it hasn't really impacted Notre Dame's ability to have success without him. Obviously, put a spotlight on how important Will Pauling was as a grad transfer to come in here from Wisconsin, and obviously a veteran who knows what to do and has played really well. He was averaging a touchdown a game for a while there until that recently stopped. But and obviously Malachi Fields had a huge game. That wasn't necessarily someone that was taking time or sharing time with Jaden Greathouse, but the wide receiver group has done good things for Notre Dame. Hasn't had as much depth maybe as they would hope, but the top end guys have really been good, especially in accounting for not having Jaden Greathouse.
Let me ask you this. When you look at what Fields and Paulings have been able to do up to this point in the year, I mean, Notre Dame has not traditionally been a destination for top-tier wide receivers. But in this portal era, given what these guys are doing this year, like, that can only be good down the road.
Absolutely. I think that increases Notre Dame's ability to go out and try to get someone this upcoming offseason if they want to. Obviously, that's up to the staff and Mike Martin as the general manager in terms of what they feel they need for this roster moving forward. But a big part of that also is CJ Carr. They see what CJ Carr can do, and I think wide receivers would want to play for him as well. But, yeah, the way that they've been able to use those guys, and even like Will Pauling coming in and being a captain, like that's how much they value guys like that who can come in and provide leadership and obviously provide production as well. So those guys have been big for Notre Dame this season, and I would imagine will play a big role in what they can do moving forward with bringing in guys like them.
And before I let you go, Tyler, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about this Saturday's actual game against Syracuse. Their record suggests that this shouldn't be a challenge for Notre Dame. They have been absolutely hammered by injuries this year. But I think more important than what Syracuse does or doesn't present on Saturday, I think over the last couple weeks, what we've seen from Notre Dame, an elevation of play, just gives me so much confidence in them right now that they shouldn't really have a lot of trouble.
Yeah, obviously the Boston College game was a little bit of a shaky moment, but maybe that was a little bit of a wake-up call too. And Notre Dame has responded well in these last two games against Navy and Pitt. Obviously Pitt and Navy both had respectable resumes. That's not necessarily the case we're going to see on Saturday against Syracuse. They have absolutely tanked since Steve Angeli went down with injury and can't really get much going on either side of the ball right now. So I think Notre Dame has to sort of block that out and prepare and knows like they have that carrot hanging above their head of like, you win out, you get in the college football playoff, you look impressive, maybe that helps your seeding. So they've done a good job of just controlling things. Like that was the most important thing, especially against a Navy team who can really throw things off with the way they dominate the ball possession, and even a Pittsburgh team that has all kinds of playmakers, and Notre Dame had control of both of those games from the start, never really let that go, and I think that speaks well of what we should expect from these last two games.
All right, he's Tyler James, blueandgold.com. You can check him and his colleagues out all week long. You can also see more from us all week on WSBT-22 News and WSBT.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pete Byrne from WSBT-22 News. Thanks for watching. Here's another story you may like. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube channel for more great stories.